Why I'm here? Because I saw something about the festival actually, and I thought that this is something special. Yani, some serious guys are doing something different, trying to do something different, something outside the box, and believing in something, some new experiments. And I believe in Donatella and as a creator, so, and I love Italy. Besides that, cinema was important from the beginning of its creation. As the only art we saw its creation, we saw how it became to the earth. But now it's why it's more and more important to do serious cinema with so many serious questions and diving in any detail, in the world, because now, in my opinion, that the new century we are living in is completely under the control of big capitalisms, and in the same time we are living in a century full of images, and to do parallel, the cinema is a work of image. The cinema is a work of image, and why it's more important now to do film with serious questions and as a process of awakening, that because when we are living in a century of images all the time without having the time to breathe and think about what we are seeing, what we are doing, so serious films may become, serious is a term now, but films full of questions and full of analyzing may become a good point to put us to have a breeze and think about what we are living, what we are seeing, and to not be not sleeping. So why it's more important? This is the reasons, and of course the sense of responsibility as human being is more important, of course, in all this process. Unfortunately, in Syria, if you know the new history of Syria, especially the last 50 years, we know that there was a very violent and cruel government there, system there, which is the Ba'ath system, which was controlling every detail of Syria. And we didn't even have a university or a school of cinema or filmmaking school. Until now, we don't have one. So after 2011, when the Syrian movements began and there was a revolution, there was really movements, the good part of the story, of this sad, very sad story, was that young people could catch the camera, even if outside Syria. Inside Syria, it was really dangerous. So many people died because they were shooting, and so many people are in the prison for now. But the good point is that after so many years of the hunger of doing films, so big powers now, young powers in cinema, is trying to do their films, even outside the Syrian story, it's about all these years of hunger and putting the stories inside without telling it, in silence. So now it's the time. It was the time to show something, to tell something. Of course, there is few filmmakers in the last 8 years after 2011. The few filmmakers, Syrian filmmakers, which did trademark even in world cinema, because they were through with themselves, through with their pain, through with their questions. So of course, there are so many good films, but few filmmakers are doing something out of the box, out of the selling their stories and really presenting some real image and asking some real questions and telling some deep stories. So I can say that. The good point that I met these people in cinema. You know, Donatella gathered us actually, Donatella Della Ratta. So yeah, cinema is gathering us, even if we are Syrian, but we knew each other out of Syria. I knew Ammar El-Beik in Denmark first time, and we became very close friends. Even I tell him, you are my big brother. I believe in Ammar El-Beik as an artist. Even if he is not doing an artwork, even if he's walking around, he's artist. You can see that he can do art when he is looking to something, when he's talking to someone. So it was good today. Their being here give me so much power. I think I am giving them so much power, you know. In my work, I don't believe in categories so much. So the editing is the tool that put the categories out of your work because you can gather so many genres, so many different questions, so many different views, visions in the same work if you are working on the editing. But which I like to say it montage, which is different term of editing. Editing is the building up something, a story or some narration. But the montage is really the tool of building something with only images, you know, without building something depending on stories or ideas. But I don't know if I can go far for what is montage. To me, it's process that, you know, it's the process that function your mind, your body, your hands. It's like you are playing a guitar, maybe, you know. Your hands are moving and they are doing something on their own, you know. So sometimes when I'm working, I don't think so much, you know. It's going on. Of course, everything has two sides, you know, negative and positive, yin and yang. So the yin and yang of the internet is, you know, you can use a knife for eating and you can use the knife for killing someone. But so we are going to the point of the responsibility. When you are using any kind of footages or any kind of archive without permission from the internet, if you are truthful with yourself and with this footage, I think you will use it with respect and you will use it as sacred thing, you know. So I think the internet is a place we can find so many things, but I can say, of course, it's a dangerous tool because of it's increasing the rhythm of our life without letting us to breathe and think. Yeah, but in all my experiences in doing films, I like to use archives from the internet, open access, but to respect, you know, to respect every single second from what I'm using. Actually, I can understand what it is, but you know, for me, it's also dangerous to put concepts like this in our life. But sometimes we need to use some concepts to go on. So it's some kind of freedom space when we are saying queer. it's a space of freedom of expression and of showing something or gathering some kind of people or some kind of films. But yes, I don't believe in such a categories, because always there is a negative and positive side. Because when you are saying or putting some concept or some category, you are putting yourself in some angle, you know, in some marginalized place or something. So this is the negative side. But of course, man, I believe in freedom, totally freedom. But I believe in interaction. I believe in conversation. The heterotopic thing, you know, this everything is linked with each other, and everything is can interact with each other if we find the place, like a festival like this. If we find the place to put some different things together and to say something different together.